Hey there, folks. It's me, Chris, with the Gig Man's Life. Yeah, it's a Gig Man's Life indeed. And like I've said in another video, yeah, I will record a video the night before and have it all set, ready to go. Wake up, look at it, and say, nope. And that's one of these times where now I'm sitting here going, I got to get this done before I get out there and do my hustle. Can't help it at times. My brains are just Gen X, put in a blender and mixed. That's how my brain goes. But, and also the factor that some of this is what I lived through. You will never understand. And I will never understand anybody that is thinking that what God's given them isn't adequate enough, okay? But anyhow, yes, I went and checked and found, they're playing the deactivation game on a lot of these platforms. And it's always going to be happening, and, they'll update policies like they did on DoorDash. They're updating policies on Uber, Lyft, and making it that because what they want to do is get people off the platform and get new people on so that they can reduce the amount, because they feel that that's how it is. They want to be the fast food of driving around like the game piece company Domino's was back in the late 80s, early 90s, where, hey, that was the only game in town to get food delivery, and taxis were definitely the thing. And yeah, when checking out the video about it, and there a lot of the things are happening where, I don't see how Uber or Lyft wasn't going and doing this earlier. But Massachusetts, my father had a cab company back in the 80s. It was 25 years old for him to have a driver work for him because of the insurance will not cover anybody younger driving. I couldn't start working for Domino's until I was over 18. I actually applied a few months before turning 18. And they said, well, you can start December 17th. Yeah. So there's age limits on driving, okay? And working these apps. And just working in this industry. And when I'm getting the notification to go and take a selfie 2 times more than I should have, because they felt that when I decided not to go and take a picture when I wasn't going to be continuing driving in the area because I was going down to Connecticut, and there's particular areas I do not want to drive in Connecticut. Oh, I'll drop you off there. But I'm not picking up from there anymore. It's just experience, and I just don't want to deal with it. But now they're going and saying that I am sharing my account. Well, here's the thing that I can go and prove very easily. And, of course I hit the wrong button, but here we go. You see, I have cameras in my car. I'm not using my phone to have them record where I don't have evidence of what's going on. I trust my evidence more than theirs. And with the factor also, I track my driving because I spent to go and have a device in my car that not just tracks my driving, but goes and gives my customers Wi-Fi if they need to have Wi-Fi. Because, yes, there's some customers that don't have phones, for some reason, or their service is cut off. I do not judge them for that because I'm already paid. I'm not I know that they've recently decided in certain markets to take cash with Uber. I'm not taking cash because I do not want to have cash on me. If I get a tip from a person in cash, fine. But I do not want to have large amounts of cash on me. I didn't like it with Domino's in the 90s because, we were told, oh, yeah, put it in the box. Yeah, we had to put it in a box in a bag because there was issues with certain managers with the slips going in and stealing our cash. Yes. That's shit that happened. I mean, I even had one owner's son grab into my pocket. Little kid. You can't swipe the little kid or yell at him, but, when you're going like this and going, and, oh, no, this is you showed your son to do this. You didn't swipe his hand doing it to anybody. This is you training him. And, no matter what, I'm going to tell you, these are things you need to do if you're doing these apps. Regardlessly if you are doing rideshare or delivery. This is stuff that has to be done because they are looking to get rid of drivers because they know that a class action lawsuit, states are coming down on them and they're paying us all out. Because yes, the rideshare ended up paying me a good chunk of change. That's where I decided to invest it in doing something else like this because I am weary of what is going on with these apps, and especially when they're sending me notifications, and saying, well, we can't tell you're using. I have, the other thing is just to be clear on this. This isn't the phone that I use or is registered, but right there, I have it set up because this is one of the other things that I always will tell people. You have to have 2 phones. You have to be ready to go if something happens to the other phone. These are just computers, folks. We all know this. If, this is just a computer that answer calls and has the ability to do everything a computer does. And yes, I do love the fact that this is why I will always suggest Apple, because what you're seeing is base connection. This is phone mirroring on the Apple OS. So it just goes boom like that. It's working. And that's what I wanted to do. I don't want to play games. I don't want extra AI suggestions. And I just want what I need to do to get my job done. And having the app set ready to go on another phone that I own, where you don't have that suggestion, you don't cover your ass about going like this and saying that, but you want to go and say that, oh, it's 2 devices or we detected on another device. I'm not on that device. I'm only on this device if something happens to my other device, because in this industry, time means money. Any industry, it does. If equipment goes down, I have to have another piece of equipment ready, set to go. And usually, there was a time that I had that on so that I could go and see where the hot spots were outside of the app that is actually driving. Whether I want to change areas because of how much people are working, how much people are needing service. But, this is what I get from working with them. And yes, I'm looking at my other options again, which is always the fun. And yes, this is one of my great photos that I take every so often, where a buddy of mine's driving. I take my camera, I have long exposure, and it comes up with these freaky shit. Okay, because this is just a minute going down the highway or local streets, and it becomes rather kooky. But that's where you get entertainment from. There's other times where I will post up at a place at night and take a long exposure picture. I also do long exposure pictures of waterfalls. That, I will tell you, it goes back into the history of photos. So as we conclude on this, and thank you very much for watching. Remember, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays is on Rumble. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays is on YouTube. And yes, I should have a new video out by 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please follow on Rumble or subscribe on YouTube to get the latest videos. Please share them with anybody that you might think that this would be relevant to. And also just please remember, don't go and knock anybody's hustle, because we're all trying to make that money. It doesn't matter if you're a 40-hour week or the guy cleaning the windows for a couple of extra bucks. It's all about making that money, being prosperous in this society, and being useful, because the biggest thing that helps us out a lot is actually feeling productive. And I always believe that is going to be the best thing. And for always make sure you're making that money.